Well, first of all, the subject of this email is horrific. You can't read this email and not see a lot of things wrong. Number one, there are two crimes that are discussed in this email. One is rape, and the other one is ghost payrolling. And so I think all of us want to know, what are they referring to? Because I don't think it's clear yet what circumstances are being referred to in this email. Second, we have to, in order to get the answers, we've got to do an investigation. We've got to figure out what the real facts are, like I said, that we don't currently know. And then we've got to hold those accountable who are, responsible for perpetrating either the crime, the cover-up, or the threats that are associated, I think, in that email. And so that's what I would say, is that we've got to hold people accountable once we have all the facts. Right now, I don't think we have enough facts. What we know is that there's an email that exists by this lobbyist to the then administration that seems like it's either a threat or a plea on the basis of something that I cannot imagine what goes through somebody's head that thinks it's okay to talk about that, to throw around rape and ghost payrolling like it's something appropriate for discussion in government service and public service.
But given his connections to Madigan, is it time for Madigan to resign, at least as party chairman, because this might be a drag on the party?
Well, let's start with getting all of the facts, and you've got to do that with an investigation. And we referred this to an investigatory body, the OEIG, so that they have the ability to do the initial investigation to determine if this should go to law enforcement or where and who's actually involved in it.
Does your administration have any other evidence of this alleged rape besides this email that was uncovered?
I do not.
How about the ghost payrolling?
None. I don't even know I don't think it's yet been determined who the person is that they're referring to when they say Jones, although there's been some allegation. But again, it's speculation at this point. And that's why I think this investigation is hugely important. It's why I've been saying from moment one that this came forward, that we need to get all the facts, and then we've got to hold people responsible.
Investigations can take quite some time. While that is going, what are you going to do? Are you going to have informal questions that you're going to ask of Speaker Madigan, Governor Quinn?
I presume that they're being asked these questions already. I have not spoken with either one yet about this, but let me be clear. We have to get all the facts. I think that they will be, by the investigatory bodies, I presume that people will be contacted, appropriate people. I'm disturbed, again, that people who serve in public office think that it's okay to have communications like this that seem to have, resulted in, outcomes that none of us, think should occur.
What should the senior staff of Governor Quinn who were on this email, what should they have done with this information?
Well, they clearly should not have acted upon what was being suggested, right? I mean, the suggestion, I don't know, I don't understand exactly what the purpose of the email was. Is it a threat? And again, this is part of the investigation and what should come from it, because it sort of seems like that, but I'd be speculating when I say that. What should they have done? I mean, you certainly you should, from my perspective, this is not something that you should take into account in any aspect when you're making any hiring decisions. It should in fact work against somebody. When you're making a hiring decision like that, if you learn that they're covering things up, not speaking about something that they should be coming forward with.
If your senior staff had gotten an email like this, would you expect it to have been informed that, hey, there's this guy who may have covered up a rape, and yet Pat Quinn saying he knew nothing about that?
I would have expected the person who received an email like that to go immediately to the general counsel, who would go to the OEIG so that this could be investigated. Because this is, I think the moment that this appeared, all of us, I think everybody in this room, and certainly from my perspective, what I saw when I read that email was, Who, I have questions. I want to know the answers to these questions so we can hold people accountable.
But then is your office doing, I mean, I get it that there's an investigation, but.
We don't
do
have-
You also want answers yourself?
I do. I want the answers,
So
but
who
but
are you
understand we
reaching-
don't have an investigatory capability in the governor's
You're the
office.
governor.
The
Don't
best
you
we
call
have.
Madigan and don't you say, what the heck went on here?
The best we have is the Office of Executive Inspector General, and that's exactly where it went to.
Well, what about
First
you?
with our general counsel. I wouldn't know how to investigate this matter. What do you mean? I should just run
Well,
around
somebody
and just
worked on your
randomly ask
campaign that
questions?
was part of all of this,
This,
right?
yeah, well, this is a consultant. I mean, we had 200 people doing field work on our campaign. And, you know, these were hired by our field staff to do field work around the state. So, no, what I want to know is, what is the rape that's being alleged here? What exactly are the circumstances around that? Is there a cover-up that was done around that? And secondly, what is this ghost payrolling reference to? Was there wrongdoing associated with that? And who's
So you're
responsible?
asking us, but who else are you asking?
The
And you're saying
OEIG,
this.
I don't have investigatory capability
right
in the
to me.
governor's office, except that there is an OEIG. That is exactly what an OEIG is there for. It is to refer so that they can, because they have this investigative capability that we just don't have. It's not a function that it belongs or exists
If you're
in the
head of
governor's
Democratic
office.
Party, I would think you
Yeah.
wouldn't you go to Madigan and say, tell me, explain this?
Well, what I know is the statement that was put out yesterday in which he says that he doesn't know anything about it.
So
This
Durkin
isn't
is
the
calling
first-
on
this isn't-
Madigan to launch a House Special Committee to investigate this. We haven't heard any response from Madigan yet, whether he's going to do this. What would be your direction or encouragement to Madigan as far as taking this and doing what he can?
I want to do what I did, which is turn it over to someone who can actually go do an investigation. Even members of the House and the Senate can't go knock on people's doors and, you know, get a subpoena or whatever in short order. Get an answer the way that an investigatory body can in short order, because we have to refer this to a law enforcement or an appropriate authority as soon as humanly possible. You know, the legislature cannot work that fast. So that's why I think an investigatory body who is empowered to do this sort of thing should be in the lead.
This isn't the first time McLean has been in the news. He's under federal investigation. He's
Yeah.
had problems with the administration's had problems with him. Should the speaker explain his current relationship with Mike McLean, who we constantly call his confidants and close friends? Should we get answers from him about his relationship?
I think it is appropriate for us to understand, you know, if there's somebody who's done wrongdoing, and I don't know, you know, we all have read the news, you know, we've all read your stories and others about the potential wrongdoing, but no indictments have been landed on. That, you know, I think we should know. I mean, I would like to know, you know, whether there's any involvement. But again, you have to get some facts about whether, you know, what crimes are actually being alleged here specifically in order to be able to ask appropriate questions about it. And again, you know, I think it's appropriate for the feds, who clearly are doing that kind of investigation. Look, I want to root out all the wrongdoers. This is just, I'm sick and tired of it. You all are too. The people of Illinois are sick and tired of it. And so we got to know who's doing wrong, what they're doing, and it's too hard for me, you know, specifically to get answers like that. I think that the feds are getting the answers, and there are investigatory bodies within the state that are too.
But you have not spoken to the speaker.
Sorry,
You have
Dan.
not spoken to the speaker?
I have spoken to the speaker repeatedly about the
In the
allegations
last
of corruption
But
and the
this
need
email,
for us
have
to
you
address.
spoken to the speaker about this email?
I think it just came out a couple of days ago. I don't
Well,
even think he's in the
but
state of
you
Illinois.
see an email and you don't call him up and say, what is this about?
No, it's not his email. What I'm telling you is that immediately upon, you know, understanding that this needed to go to an investigatory body, it went to the OEIG, and that is in fact exactly where it ought to go.
On another subject, property tax.
Last question.